Now we have a question on exponential sequence whose terms are expressed in the form n combination r. Now this is our first term, our second term, and our third term. And we are asked to determine the value of n, the common ratio of the sequence, and the sum to the 13th term of the sequence. N combination r is given as n factorial, r factorial. Now we have as our first term and here r is equal to 6. So if we are to simplify the first term, we're going to have so we're going to cancel this out. We're going to be left with and if we are to do the math, we're going to have 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is 720. And so this will cancel out, and we're going to have our first term is going to be given as our second term is given by which simplifies into so n minus 7 factorial will cancel out. So our second term will be of the form and when we do this math, we're going to have our third term, which is giving us where r is equal to 8 is giving us now 8 factorial is 8 times 7. So n minus 8 factorial are going to cancel out. So we're going to have So now this is the expression for the first term, for the second term, and for our third term. Now let's simplify the terms by doing some representation over here so that we let be represented by x. So that we're going to represent this whole expression by x. For our second term, this whole expression by x. And for our third term, this whole expression by x. So then it would mean that our first three terms will be represented as x over 504. Our second term, x. And our third term, so now we've managed to simplify our first three terms into this form. Now with geometric sequence, if we have three consecutive terms as A, B, and C, then B squared is equal to AC. So it means that now when we expand, it would mean that is equal to so this x will take care of this x, and this will take care of this, and minus 6 will cancel out, and 504 goes into 5040 10 times. So we're going to have now if we are to cross multiply, we're going to have n is 11. So that is our answer for the first part of the question. Now, if n is equal to 11, then it would mean 11 minus 6 is 5. Here is 5, and here is 4. So our terms A, B, C would now be x over and our third term is going to be 20x over. So our first term xs, our second term, and our third term. Now, the B part of the question requires of us the common ratio of the sequence. And so for common ratio, we can choose to use this to determine the common ratio. We're going to arrive at the same answer if we use this one too. So the x will cancel out. And we're going to have as our common ratio. For the third part of the question, we are asked to determine our sum to the 13th term. Now, for geometric expressions, sum to the mth term is given as where a is our first term, r is our common ratio, and n but what is our first term? This is our first term. X has been represented as such here, and n has already been determined as 11. So x can be evaluated. So we're going to have n minus 1 is 10. So the value of x will be given as, and so if we are to do the substitution, our first term a, which is given as x over 504, where x is equal to our first term is 660. So our sum to the first 13 terms is given as our common ratio is half, n is 13. So our sum to the first 13 terms would be given as and we'll choose to leave our answer as such. So this is the end of my video. Thank you very much for watching, but keep watching.